Not even kings dared to wield them carelessly. From wooden sticks that trained samurai to pistols that collapsed empires, these are the 7 levels of legendary weapons that carved their names into history. This is where steel meets destiny and myths become metal. Subscribe and claim your place among the warriors of legend. Some were forged by gods, while others were crafted by human hands that achieved the impossible. Get ready to discover the weapons that didn't just win battles, but rewrote the rules of reality itself. Level 1, the Starter Pack. The Wooden Blade. Can a piece of carved wood be more deadly than forged steel? The bokken and rudest prove that the weapon is nothing without the warrior. These wooden training swords were instruments of transformation. In Japan, the bokken was the sacred tool that turned farmers into samurai. Masters trained until their hands bled, understanding that wood taught patience while metal taught ego. Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's greatest swordsman, killed his rival Sasaki Kojiro with a bokken he carved from an oar moments before their duel. This wasn't desperation but absolute mastery. Musashi understood that a true warrior could kill with anything because the weapon was merely an extension of will. In Rome, the rudis was given to gladiators who earned freedom after years of bloodshed. That wooden gladius meant you walked out alive. Some gladiators called rudiarii were so skilled they returned to fight as free men for glory and gold. These wooden weapons teach us that legends are not born holding divine swords. They are forged through splinters, bruises, and the discipline to master basics before touching steel. Hey, we'll soon reach 1,000 subscribers. As soon as we reach them, I'll do a giveaway and raffle off a gift card. So real quick, subscribe to the channel and enable that bell button to catch up with us because we wouldn't want you to miss it. Level 2, the Upgrade, Bronze Revolution. The Sumerians and Egyptians discovered that copper mixed with tin created something revolutionary. Bronze bent instead of shattering. Early iron swords just snapped, leaving you holding an expensive handle in combat. The Khopesh, Egypt's sickle sword, looked like someone weaponized a question mark. This curved bronze blade could hook shields and rip them away, exposing enemies like opening a cannon. Pharaohs, including Ramses II, swung these in battle. Tutankhamun was buried with multiple Khopesh because even in death, a king needed proper equipment. But here's where it gets cosmic. King Tut's bronze dagger was forged from a meteorite. Scientists confirmed in 2016 the blade came from space. Imagine fighting someone wielding a piece of the sky that fell to Earth specifically to end you. Bronze weapons were status symbols screaming, "I have access to metallurgy and you're still using rocks." If you've been surprised at these levels, then you're not going to believe what awaits you at level 7, so stay tuned until the end. Level 3, the Iron Revolution, Democracy through Steel. Iron changed everything because suddenly everyone could afford to stab each other properly. The Roman gladius was only 2 feet long but conquered Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Romans understood tight formations didn't need giant swords. You needed something short to thrust between shields while your buddy guarded your flank. Stab, step, repeat. That rhythm built an empire lasting 1,000 years. Vikings carried the skrammersax, a single-edged blade that gutted fish on Monday, carved wood on Tuesday, and split skulls on Wednesday. Every free man owned one because it was the ultimate multi-tool. Celts swung 3 feet of iron with both hands, charging with raised swords, screaming like demons. Romans wrote about how terrifying it was until Roman discipline won every time. Iron democratized violence. This is where professional soldiers were born and warfare became an industry instead of a rich man's hobby. Level 4, the Named Blades, when weapons became people. This is where steel earned souls. Vikings named swords Legbiter and Skull Splitter because subtlety was for cowards. These were heirlooms with battle histories and reputations. Durandal belonged to Roland, Charlemagne's greatest knight. The hilt contained holy relics, a tooth of Saint Peter, the Virgin Mary's hair, Saint Basil's vestment. Roland carried a sword that was half weapon, half portable cathedral. When he tried destroying it at Roncevaux Pass to keep it from enemies, he smashed it against rocks and broke the mountain instead. The sword survived, the mountain didn't. Some say the crack is still visible in the Pyrenees. The Japanese had musamune blades so perfect that testing them became poetry. They placed the musamune and rival Muramasa blade in a stream edge up. Leaves touching Muramasa were sliced clean. Leaves floating toward musamune went around it as if the blade was too honorable to cut unnecessarily. Beautiful nonsense revealing the philosophy. A weapon isn't just for killing, it's art, death, and discipline forged together. Level 5, the Divine Arsenal, when gods forged war. Weapons created by divine hands for cosmic battles. Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, was forged by dwarves but got a short handle thanks to Loki's pranking. Thor didn't complain, he swung it anyway, summoning lightning, leveling mountains, smashing giants, and returning to his hand, like the world's most aggressive boomerang. The Mjolnir wasn't only destruction, it blessed marriages, protected newborns, and hallowed the dead. Imagine your wedding officiant pulling out a hammer saying, "By Thor's power, you may kiss the bride." Sacred and terrifying equally. Only the worthy could lift it. Thor alone wielded it with ease, making him the ultimate flex in Norse mythology. Kusanagi no Tsurugi, Japan's grass-cutting sword, was found inside an 8-headed dragon called Yamata no Orochi. Apparently dragons were storage units with scales. Storm god Susanoo killed the beast, sliced open its tail, and discovered this blade. He gave it to his sister, Amaterasu, the sun goddess, making it one of Japan's 3 imperial regalia. Later, hero Yamato Takero was trapped in a burning field set by enemies. Using Kusanagi, he cut through grass to escape, then turned flames back on attackers. That's not survival, that's sword-assisted pyrotechnics. Today, it's hidden in imperial ceremonies, never photographed, never seen publicly. Some doubt it exists anymore, but the mystery makes it sharper. Level 6. The Mythmakers. Reality rewritten. Weapons so powerful they created entire belief systems. Excalibur wasn't just King Arthur's sword, it was destiny forged into metal. In some stories, he pulled it from stone like a test for kingship. In others, the Lady of the Lake handed it over. Either way, holding Excalibur meant you were chosen by forces beyond mortal understanding. The blade shone so bright, it blinded enemies. It never broke, never dulled, but the real power wasn't the sword, it was the scabbard. Whoever wore it couldn't be killed. Arthur's greatest strength was accessorizing correctly. He lost the scabbard when Morgan Le Fay stole it. When Arthur died, Excalibur was thrown back to the lake, too legendary to remain on land. The Aegis started as Zeus's shield, then became Athena's gear. It had Medusa's head mounted on it, turning enemies to stone. You didn't fight someone carrying the Aegis, you became a statue and reconsidered your choices. Gungnir, Odin's spear, was precision and inevitability forged by dwarves. Once thrown, the target was finished. It didn't matter if you hid behind mountains, the spear found you. Before battles, Odin threw it over enemy lines to claim them. One strike, one outcome, no second chances. Level 7. The Reality Changers. When weapons altered civilization. What if a weapon's true power was reshaping history itself? The Sword of Gujian is over 2,000 years old and still sharp. Found in 1965 in a Chinese tomb, it should have been rust. Instead, it cut a researcher during excavation. After 23 centuries in darkness, it was ready for war. Scientists discovered the blade was treated with chromium compounds, perfectly balanced to resist corrosion. Craftsmanship was so advanced it looked like magic, but it wasn't magic. It was skill perfected to impossible levels. The inscription identifies it as belonging to Gujian, King of Yu. The bow of Artemis belonged to the Greek goddess of the hunt, crafted by gods themselves. It represented precision so perfect that Artemis never missed, ever. The bow was a protector of virtue and symbol of independence. Artemis chose wilderness over marriage, and her bow made that choice deadly for anyone who challenged it. And then there's the gun of Gavrilo Princip. Not magical, not blessed, not forged by legendary smiths. Just an FN model 1910 pistol, but it killed Archduke Franz Ferdinand on June 28, 1914 in Sarajevo and detonated World War I. One trigger pull, 17 million dead. 4 empires collapsed: German, Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, Russian. The modern world rose from their ashes. That's a legendary weapon. It didn't need divine power or ancient magic. It had consequences echoing through every history book written since. That's all 7 levels, from wood training stakes to triggers that collapsed empires. The greatest weapons weren't measured by blood spilled, but by worlds they created and destroyed. If you enjoyed this journey through Steel and Destiny, smash that subscribe button and drop a like. Which of these weapons would you trust your life to? Leave your answer below. I'll see you in the next one.